Dave from Bullpen Cycles, and this is a 1966 Moto Guzzi. Yes, it's a Moto Guzzi Stornello. So the Stornello, and I got my little Italian flair there, that means starling in Italian. And leave it to Moto Guzzi to come up with stupid names, because the starling is a nuisance bird. They have the stone, they have the Grizzo, which is old gray one, T5. Just Moto Guzzi is not creative on its names. All right, enough of my ranting. What is this exactly? Well, the guy that sold it to me, he said it was a Sport America. Now, a Sport America is a Stornello, but I don't think it's a sport. A sport would have clip-ons instead of high bars and like that little cafe racer seat, but who knows. These came in a variety of trim levels. The standard one, which I guess is the Turismo, the Sport, and a Scrambler. They're all basically the same. Came out in '61 with a 7 horsepower version, 4-speed, push rod overhead valves, and then later they went to a 20 millimeter Delorto and a Hemi head. Ooh, it's got a Hemi. 8.5 horsepower, pretty much just like all the other Italian bikes of the era. Now, if you think of it, Moto Guzzi is one of the Italian big three. You have Benelli, Ducati, Moto Guzzi, and you had dozens of others. Mondial, Idem, and a bunch of other smaller outfits. Mostly they got swooped up by Piaggio. I think even Moto Marini got swooped up by either Piaggio or Cagiva. This and all the other small bikes was the bread and butter of Italy. Think of it. Moto Guzzi didn't come out with the V7 until a couple years after this. Same with Ducati, they made small bikes. And Benelli. Now we think of the Benelli Say, the Ducati LV Twin. But this is typical Italian bike of that era. And you don't see many of them here in the United States anymore. The battery box and air box is not here, but it's there. This also has an aftermarket ignition with all the original parts there, plus an extra motor. This bike's a runner, and we're gonna run it. My friend Jack was building one. He had two. He built one for the Moto Giro, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Moto Giro. That's a famous road race on public roads in Italy, and they do a recreation of it now. And this was his test bike, so mechanically it's supposed to fire right up and go. So let's see. Oh, the key was on. Well, I guess it doesn't matter since it's got electronic ignition. So let's see. Gas. I'm gonna leave the choke off and I'm gonna tickle it, see what it does. fast. Got a customer.
Couple things I want to show you before we go. This has got electronic ignition, so that wiring is kind of kludgy. Don't know if the lights work with that ignition. The original ignition is there, but it's enough to go for a ride. So we got a new helmet. It's a Bell qualifier. Hopefully this will cut off on the wind noise, but I want any of you other videographers out there. This is a chin mount made for this helmet. It's called chin mount, and they're really expensive. It's just a piece of plastic, but it's got the curve for your specific helmet. $30. And as you can tell, you can't lock the GoPro in. It's not quite right. And for 30 bucks, it should be freaking perfect and made out of ivory. So that's my 2 cents, if that helps any of you out there. Well, so much for the new helmet. The microphone's not working. GoPro's gonna send me a new media mod and we'll try it again. Okay, so the sound wasn't working. That was our media mod, which I've been trying to use an external microphone with. For those of you who are following and learning, I don't know how many want to learn off me, but the media mod on my Hero 8 was permanently fixed to stereo. I didn't know that. Apparently there's a front and rear input to the microphone. It was set to stereo, so when I was riding on the cycle with an open face helmet, the wind noise would blow in the front microphone and the external microphone wasn't working at all. Even though I tried a couple of different external microphones, I updated the firmware, I tried a different helmet. GoPro finally offered to send me a new media mod, and I was thankful for that because I was out of warranty, but they didn't tell me how long I'd have to wait. They actually have to receive the old one before they ship the new one. I offered to guarantee it with a credit card, but that wasn't good enough. So we lost almost 2 weeks there while I was waiting by my mailbox, not knowing that they needed to receive the old one first. So kudos to GoPro, but also shame. That's what their customer service reps get when they read from a script, I'm afraid. All they had to do was tell me to set the expectations. But for the life of me, we're gonna finish this video. I got a couple of different camera setups going. I don't know how well they're gonna work, but we are gonna try like heck. Not working. Plan C. Well, at least we know it starts easy. I'm guessing first is backwards. Yes, it is.
Second. So the first thing you notice is this doesn't feel like a putt-putt bike. It actually goes. We'll try it from a standing stop in just a minute. Good brakes. First. So this came out in the early 60s as a 125 standard valve, 7 horsepower. Then they breathed on it, gave it a Hemi head, 8.5 horsepower. By the end in 74, you had a 160cc. I don't know how many horsepower, but you know, that's like a 12-year run. Yeah? This could be a fun bike. I think that's top gear. Yeah. We should drag race this against the MV Agusta. I think the MV Agusta, being overhead cam, would win, depending on how they're geared. Oh yeah, that's right. Back is for down. Now my speedometer and lights are not hooked up. Sounds like it's idling fast. Let's try almost a dead stop. Yeah, so it's okay. I don't know how fast we're going. But for a 125, that's respectable. Oh, I usually turn around there. It looks like they sold it. All right, we'll do a U-turn. This is small enough to do a U-turn in the street. Here we go. A little bit of a lag from the start, but then it goes. I'd like to have a tack on it. Whoa, bust. Edgewater Animal Shelter. We gotta go in there. Check it out. Second. Yeah, brakes are working good. Front brake is pretty good. I'm actually hitting it pretty hard. For as old as it is, it works good.